The man looked like any other father, holding a toddler in his arms. But when a police K-9 suddenly erupted, barking with unstoppable fury, the scene turned into chaos. No one could have guessed what the dog had sensed until the truth came out, exposing a crime that saved 28 children. Most. It was just another afternoon. But for Officer Daniels, assigned with his loyal K-9, Rex, routine patrols in public places were never taken lightly. Every crowd carried hidden possibilities. Rex trotted calmly beside him, the German Shepherd's sharp eyes scanning each face, every movement. Children waved at the dog, shoppers smiled, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary until Rex froze mid-step. His ears shot up, his body tensed, and a low growl rumbled deep in his throat. Officer Daniels followed his partner's gaze. A man at the far end of the cereal aisle cradled a toddler in his arms. He looked no different than any other parent, shirt neat, hair combed, but Rex wouldn't move. Instead, the dog leaned forward, muscles coiled, eyes locked on the man as though he had just spotted a threat. Daniels frowned. Rex was trained to detect danger, drugs, explosives, even hidden fear, and he had never been wrong. The store still hummed around them, unaware, but the air had shifted. Something about that man wasn't right, and Rex had already sensed it first. Without warning, Rex lunged forward, his bark exploding through the aisle like thunder. Shoppers jumped, cereal boxes tumbled from shelves, and a child began to cry. The German Shepherd's hackles rose, his teeth bared as he pulled hard against the leash, every muscle straining toward the man with the toddler. The man stiffened instantly. His eyes darted around the store, his grip on the child tightening. "Control your dog," he snapped, his voice cracking with forced anger. But Rex ignored every command from Officer Daniels. The dog barked louder, each sound edged with urgency, as if shouting a warning no one could understand. Fear rippled through the crowd. Some people backed away, clutching their carts, while others stood frozen, too stunned to move. To them, it looked like chaos, an overreaction from a police dog. But Daniels knew better. Rex had never lost control without reason. And in that aisle, surrounded by confusion, he realized his partner was onto something far darker than anyone could see. Officer Daniels raised his hand, signaling backup. Within seconds, 2 more officers rushed into the aisle, their radios crackling with urgency. One moved to calm the frightened shoppers, guiding them toward the store exit, while the other edged closer to the man holding the toddler. The tension was suffocating, every eye locked on the German Shepherd who refused to stop barking. "Sir, we need you to stay calm," one officer said firmly, his hand resting near his holster. "Why don't you put the child down?" The man shook his head violently. "No, she's my daughter. He's scaring her," he insisted, his voice trembling. But Daniels noticed the girl's small arms weren't clinging to him. She just stared wide-eyed, gripping her teddy bear tightly, as if she didn't know the man at all. Rex lunged again, pulling with a force that nearly toppled Daniels. The shepherd's eyes burned with focus, his instincts unwavering. Something about the man was dangerously wrong, and Rex wasn't about to let anyone ignore it. The man's face grew pale, beads of sweat forming on his forehead as officers closed in. He shifted his weight from one foot to the other, his grip on the toddler tightening. The child whimpered softly, glancing at Rex, almost as if she trusted the dog more than the arms that held her. "Sir," Daniels pressed, his tone sharp, "show us some identification. If this is your daughter, there's nothing to hide." The man stammered, his voice breaking. I left my wallet in the car. She's just scared of dogs. That's all." His eyes flickered nervously toward the exit, calculating his chances. Rex barked again, this time deeper, louder, drawing the attention of everyone left in the store. The German Shepherd pulled so hard on his leash that Daniels nearly lost his balance. The dog's instincts screamed that danger was right in front of them. The officers exchanged tense glances. Something didn't add up. The child's silence, the man's evasiveness, Rex's unrelenting alarm. The shoppers who lingered watched in stunned disbelief, whispering among themselves. The man took a small step backward, his foot brushing against a cereal box on the floor. His mask of confidence was crumbling, and everyone could see it. Before the man could make another move, 2 officers closed in, prying the toddler gently from his arms. The child clung to the nearest officer, wide-eyed but oddly relieved. The man shouted in protest, but his voice cracked, carrying more desperation than authority. "Search him," Daniels ordered, his grip firm on Rex's leash. The shepherd barked again, circling the man, nose darting toward his jacket. One officer patted him down quickly and froze when his hand brushed a thick envelope tucked inside the lining. Pulled free, it revealed wads of cash and a list of names scribbled on folded papers. At first glance, it looked like nothing more than random notes, but the names were children's, each with an age beside it. Gasps spread through the room. The man's face drained of color. It's nothing, just notes," he stammered, but his words fell flat against the horrified silence. Daniels locked eyes with Rex, the dog's growl deepening. "Steady, sure." Whatever this man was hiding, it wasn't small. The envelope was more than evidence. It was a window into something darker, something that stretched far beyond a single child in a supermarket aisle. The envelope was rushed to detectives. Its contents spread across a cluttered desk under harsh fluorescent lights. The list of names wasn't random. It matched police reports of missing children from 3 neighboring towns. 28 names in total. Investigators traced phone numbers scrawled beside the list, uncovering coded messages and addresses that pointed to hidden locations. What seemed like a supermarket disturbance was unraveling into the skeleton of a trafficking operation. Every thread led deeper, every clue tightening the knot of horror. Back at the station, officers exchanged grim looks. If Rex hadn't sounded the alarm, that little girl would have vanished into the same darkness as the others. The man in the supermarket was no ordinary shopper. He was a link in a chain that had stolen dozens of innocent lives. The K-9 had not only saved one toddler, but sparked the discovery of a crime that shook the community to its core. The next step was clear: launch a rescue mission before it was too late. Night fell as unmarked vans lined the outskirts of an abandoned warehouse. Armed officers moved silently into position, radios whispering coded commands. Rex stood at Danielle's side, ears pricked, muscles taut, as if he knew the weight of what was about to unfold. The captain's signal. The doors were breached. Officers surged inside, flashlights cutting through the darkness. The air reeked of damp concrete and fear. Behind locked metal doors came the faintest sounds, soft sobs, muffled cries. One by one, the locks were broken open, revealing terrified children huddled together, their eyes wide with exhaustion and hope. Clear. Voices echoed, each room opening into scenes that tightened every heart. 28 children in total, their names matching the list found in the supermarket. Some clung to the officers instantly. Others were too stunned to move. Amid the chaos, Rex pushed ahead, his bark guiding the team toward a hidden chamber. Behind a false wall, the youngest victims were found, fragile, trembling, but alive. Tears streaked down hardened faces as the children were carried into the night. The mission had succeeded, but the true hero was already clear: the dog who refused to stay silent. Parents wept as they clutched their children, voices breaking with gratitude. The air was filled with cries of joy, the kind that only come when hope is restored after being nearly lost. Rex sat quietly beside Officer Daniels, tail wagging as little hands reached out to pet him. To the children, he wasn't just a dog. He was the guardian who had saved them from the shadows. The captain placed a medal on Rex's collar, his voice steady but thick with pride. "This K-9 didn't just save one life," he declared. "He saved 28. Applause thundered, but Rex only leaned into Danielle's touch, content in the bond they shared.